It does. One of my first paid gigs, this is true, was at a prison. I performed in front of 200 inmates, and there is nothing that makes you feel shittier as a comic than to be performing and watching a couple inmates walk out. Because you know, they're just going back to their cell. That's it. There's not like another room with midnight bowling or a movie. Those inmates were watching me on stage and they were like, you know what? I'd rather be in a cage right now. How about you? I would get stabbed so quickly in prison because I have a terrible snoring problem. It's bad. So I went to the doctor and it turns out I have sleep apnea, which if you don't know what that is, that's a medical condition where you're so out of shape that sleep is just a little too much exercise for you. I'm falling apart. My doctor told me I had fatty liver disease this year. Yeah, that's a real disease with the word fatty in it. Which is very hurtful. Apparently once you get into your 30s, your diseases sound a lot like your doctors making fun of you. I'm afraid to go back. I'm going to find out I have Jewy arthritis, little bitch diabetes. So I quit drinking, I went to AA. I learned a lot in AA. I don't know if y'all know this, I learned that alcohol and weed, while seeming harmless, are actually a gateway to born-again Christianity. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? I had mono this year. I'm just going to talk about my ailments for my This is going to be a very Jewish set. Buckle in. I had mono. For 2 months, I just slept all day and didn't hook up with anyone. It was a lot like not having mono in many ways. I don't hook up a lot. I lost my virginity when I was 21. Anyone else 21? Yeah. All right, one guy's way too excited. I get it. And all right, the rest of you lost it a little later. I get it. I'm pretty early. We were pretty early. I lost it at 21. It's embarrassing. This is how embarrassing it is. I'm lying. I was 24. That's how And being a virgin now, people are embarrassed about it. They used to be proud of it. It's really made a switch. Jesus' mother was so proud about being a virgin, she had it in her name. That's how she introduced herself. She was like, hi, I'm the Virgin Mary. And you just be like, I'm bisexual Phil. What are we doing? This is awkward. I love doing comedy. When I first started, I was a substitute teacher. And in the training to be a sub, this is true, they said, don't have sex with any of the kids. They said that. And the guy next to me wrote that down. Took out a pen. I was like, what are you doing, buddy? You know that's a law, right? That's not just school policy. You should not be learning anything right now. You should already be knowing that shit. And you should definitely not be writing it down like you might forget again. Speaking of perverts, what a year we had. What a year. One sexual predator after another. Boy, do we owe Pee Wee Herman a big apology, don't we? We owe that man an apology. Some of you might not remember, but 25 years ago, his entire career got destroyed because he got caught pleasuring himself in a porno theater. In a port, we should go back in time and give that man a medal for doing it correctly. He didn't make anyone watch. He did it in the back of the theater like a gentleman. Also, someone had to tell on him, which I found hilarious. Someone had to literally go up to the box office and be like, excuse me. Excuse me. Me and my family are trying to watch this porn. And there's this weirdo. People get offended by everything. My favorite thing from last year, people boycotted the Beauty and the Beast movie because apparently there's a scene that suggested Gaston's sidekick LeFou is gay. And I saw the movie. It's blown so out of proportion. All it is at the end of the movie there's a dance, and there's just a quick shot of LeFou banging a guy. That's it. 5 minutes long. I get why homophobes don't like that movie, because what do homophobes always say? Well, if you let gay people get married, what's next? Someone marrying an animal? And that's literally the plot of Beauty and the Beast. People are morons. I was talking to an Uber driver about transgenders in the military, or to be fair, he was talking to me about transgenders in the military. And at one point he said, I would never want to be in a foxhole with a transgender person. I was like, dude, if you're in a foxhole, you have way bigger things to worry about. Like, why are you fighting in early 1900s trench warfare? There hasn't been a foxhole since 1942. What are you, a time traveler? Our American history is completely depraved and violent. Meanwhile, we have a totally sugar-coated version we teach in school. What's one of the first things you learn in school? In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. What a fun little poem about a mass murderer. That's like going, in 1939, Hitler said it's showtime! Yeah! I like the excuses for prejudice. One time my grandpa said something racist and my mom tried to defend it. She was like, well, he's from a different time. He's from a different time. I'm like, yeah, but the only problem with that is he's not. He's from right now. He was from a different time, and then time moved forward, and he's still in time. That's how time works. If you're alive right now, you're in it. Certain old people only have trouble adjusting to prejudice. They don't have trouble adjusting to other changes, and it's hypocritical. Like an old person will be like, I don't think black and white people should date, because that's not how I was raised. That's not how I was raised. And that's fine, you can say that, but then I don't ever see you riding an escalator. Because you weren't raised with that shit either. Every time you see an escalator, you're like, who put this roller coaster in the mall? Very divided country right now, and a lot of times you can read articles that make you furious. I read an article recently, and I'm going to try to bring it up without getting too mad. The article was a true story by Karen Ballard of the Washington Post, a true story about an octopus named Inky that crawled out of a tank in a New Zealand aquarium, went through the window and back into the ocean. And the line in the article that made me so mad, Karen Ballard of the Washington Post wrote, this cephalopod version of Shawshank Redemption. She compared it to Shawshank Redemption, even though it is the exact freaking ending of Finding Nemo. So I wrote her an email. Dear Karen, never in my life have I been more outraged by a missed opportunity to reference Finding Nemo. How can you make such a glaring error? The only excuse I can come up with is that you suffer from the same form of dementia Dory suffers from. Let me guess, you don't even get that reference. In conclusion, aquariums are nothing like prisons. For example, fish don't walk out when you're performing stand-up at a goddamn aquarium. She'd have right back. But 2 months later, she came out with another article that I couldn't help but perceive as very secret and quite FU. This was a line in that article. Convicted killer Matt Harris recently escaped from a prison in Tennessee by using power tools to dig a hole through his cell. A hole he covered up each morning behind a poster of Rita Hayworth. This human version of Finding Nemo